River today, well known for its fishing and recreational use, such as kayaking. It's a 26.5-mile stretch of water, and it separates the Monmouth and Ocean County, the fertile north soil, from the southern pine barrens.
Over here we have what looks like a herring, a bird we just passed up on as soon as we got on the Manasquan River. John's going to tell us a little bit about the food chain.
Well, there's a lot that goes into the food chain down here on the Manasquan River. We have our algae in the water that are fed upon by small bait fish and other small shellfish. The herring is a bird that feeds on some of these small bait fish. Hangs out around the water's edge where the small bait fish kind of come up and try and get near the sun, get a little warm, get a little food, and the herring just swoops in. Poor little fish.
As we're discussing these small bait fish and other organisms, fish such as the bluefish and striped bass and trout also feed on these here on the Manasquan River.
Alright, we're still out here just kayaking along the Manasquan River. We're a little farther inland now. This is where you'd probably see some shell fishing or trout fishing being done. And down closer to the ocean around the inlet is where people try and fish for some striped bass, maybe some bluefish, and other big game fish like that.
Some abiotic factors that can play into the Manasquan River are things such as storms, winds, tides, and the sun. The sun gets it going by heating up the algae, which gets the entire food chain moving. Things like storms, for example, like Hurricane Irene, came in this entire river, flooded over, which caused a bunch of erosion, and it threw the food chain out of whack, leaving some species on land to die, which hurt populations and ultimately affected the entire ecosystem in a negative way. John, we got a guy on jet ski out here. What do you think of that?
Now the jet ski would be an example of a negative impact on the ecosystem. You get gas into the water from the engine, maybe. You
Exhaust.
Got just a lot of exhaust from the jet ski. And then just the disturbance in the water can scare fish away and harm fishing and, I don't know, other animals that are trying to feed on those fish. Could even kill a fish driving by too fast.
Some other negative impacts that humans have on the river are overfishing, pollution, such as that jet skier back there. Also, people dump waste into the river. This can cause populations to be decreased and become even endangered.
Hey, Birdie. Aside from some of the negatives that humans give to the river and the ecosystem, there's also some positives. Environmental organizations and such set up fishing restrictions and fishing limits for fishermen around the river. They set up sizes of fish and certain weights of fish that cannot be taken home with that fisher. They have to throw them back into the river, and this gives the fish population a little chance to grow.
Also, they set up special things like special restricted areas for shell fishing, where they check the chemicals to make sure that they're not out of whack, and they treat the water to ensure that. Also, fishermen that like to do trout have to have a special license for that, which also helps limit the amount of overfishing.
The wildlife out here on the river all affect each other. For example, in the winter, the birds will migrate to warmer weather and warmer areas, and then the fish have time to kind of boost up their population again. And when it gets colder, the fish start to move towards the bottom of whatever water they're living in, because there's more dissolved oxygen in the water. They don't have to move around as much and collect as much oxygen as they do in the summer months.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's a great day out here on the Manasquan River. That's what I'd say. Here's a good example of what we're talking about when we say that people dump and pollute all in these waters. Right there, there's a good speck of garbage, looks like an alcohol bottle. And there's other litter around here. We just docked, had a great day on the Manasquan River. What'd you think?
A lot of fun. We learned a lot today. Hope you did too.
The river is essential to recreation and some fishing, and we enjoyed it.